So hello and welcome to today's video. So regardless of who you are, one thing everybody who's interested in gaming has experienced is that very first time you ever got a console. Maybe you got it for Christmas or your birthday, or you just got home from school one day and found out your parents bought one. But everybody has some fond memories of opening that new gaming console for the very first time ever. And most people also have memories of the very first game they ever played too. But one thing you don't often see nowadays is the inclusion of demo discs with that brand new console anymore. And for most of this video I am going to be talking about the PS1. But for PlayStation specifically, in some brand new consoles you often got a demo disc bundled with that console. It wasn't titled anything exciting, after all the one I remember was Demo Disc 1. And yeah, it's not a very enticing name, but it was there to introduce you to the at the time brand new and exciting world of PlayStation. Since it was the new console on the block, being up against the big boys of Nintendo and Sega, they really wanted to make sure that you were going to be in for a treat and show you exactly what PlayStation has to offer. And with a demo disc for your first ever console, you usually had about 5 or 6 games or so to try and then form your own opinions on which one you liked and maybe get your parents to go and buy it for you. But excluding the ones that came bundled in with the console, there were no shortages of demos on the PlayStation at all. I swear you got demo discs absolutely everywhere. In America at least, you got them bundled when you went to Pizza Hut. And as any young kid from the 90s and 2000s knows, going to Pizza Hut, McDonald's and KFC was always a treat. So going with your family on a summer's day to Pizza Hut and coming back home with this new PS1 disc to try out Crash Bandicoot and Tony Hawk must have been one hell of an experience. I say must have been because, as you can probably tell by my accent, I'm not American. I'm from England, and I have zero memories of being given demo discs from fast food places. We had Happy Meal toys, but that was about it. But even then, we still got plenty of demo discs bundled with magazines. Like the official UK PlayStation magazine was very generous in how many demo discs they gave you. According to a Google search, they had nearly 100 demo discs out, and I'm pretty sure it's the same in America as well. And when you realise how many of these demo discs had as little as 3 demos, and in some cases up to 10 on them, it's complete and utter madness. Nowadays we just form our opinions from what we see on YouTube, maybe listen to what our favourite channels say. But decades ago, you bought a magazine, you'd read a review about the newest upcoming games, and if one really piqued your interest you might have had the chance to play it right on the same day. In some cases you even had demos of games inside other games. As a fan of Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon growing up, imagine my happiness when I found out I could actually play demos of games I never had at the time, like Spyro 1 and Crash Team Racing. The demos of them both still kept me entertained for a decent amount of time, even if they were relatively short. I even played the Spyro 3 and Crash Bash demos even though I already had the full games anyway. I always liked how PlayStation kind of curated their demos. Like, they went ahead and released so many different compilations. You had them curated by season and year, like you had Autumn 2000, Winter Releases 98, Australian Summer, and of course Christmas. Or sometimes they even organised them by genre, like they had horror demo discs, football, beat 'em ups and racing. And to me that is a very smart tactic. Every one of you watching this video has a preferred genre of gaming. Some of you might like horror. You know, you might be a fan of Outlast, Resident Evil, Silent Hill. Some of you might not really be a fan of horror and might prefer beat 'em ups like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Smash Brothers or whatever. So giving somebody who loves beat 'em up games a demo disc which is solely dedicated to beat 'em ups is a very clever tactic, because you know damn well that person is probably going to want to buy every single game that's featured on that disc. And of course when you look under the surface, demos are just basically advertisements. After all, they're there to promote these games because they want you to buy them. But as somebody who despises ads with all my passion, this is advertising done right. There is nothing in your face about it, there's nothing annoying, it's just a simple try before you buy. There's no fear of missing out like you need to buy this amazing game today, it's so much fun. It's just a simple try our game. If you don't like it, that's fine. And if you do like it, you can maybe convince your mum and dad to go and buy it for you. And then the developers get your money they wouldn't have had otherwise if it wasn't for the demo. Which was a very effective tactic. I was reading up a lot of comments about demo discs just for nostalgia's sake, and a recurring comment I often saw was people saying they wouldn't become a fan of say like Tomb Raider, Parappa, Tony Hawk or Spyro if they never played it on the demo disc. And when I say about the demo discs being advertisements, some of them were a bit less subtle. Like the Pizza Hut demo just opens with an ad for Pizza Hut, so yeah, but generally speaking most of them were just like more a bit subtle in the advertising department. But nowadays when you buy consoles or for PC gamers a new graphics card, you often get a bundle. But these are usually some of the most popular games on the market right now. Go and look up any Switch bundle and you'll see it bundled with like Mario Kart 8, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Pokemon, and if you look at PlayStation 5 you'll see they come bundled with like Spider-Man, FIFA, Astrobot, whatever. And of course they do that, so you actually have something to play as soon as you get the console set up, because these are the most popular games right now, are essentially being treated to some of the best the system has at the moment. I'm not saying that demos are superior to having a full game ready to go, because I feel like with the internet now, demo discs have become a bit redundant. You don't need to play a demo of Zelda, GTA, Forza, because you can just hop online, read about it, watch some gameplay of it, and make your choice from there. And when it comes to demos, I feel like they can always be categorised into a few groups. You have great demos that really give you a full taste of the game, and crap-tacular demos that really don't show it off at all, and even though the game itself might be brilliant, it's complete ass. One example of a completely crap demo has to be the first Dead Rising. Now keep in mind, I am a fan of Dead Rising, though I've played pretty much all of them. I absolutely adored 1, 2, Case 0, Case West, and Off the Record. 3 was alright, and 4, well, the less said about that the better. But the demo to the first Dead Rising was complete and utter ass. Like, you only had one area to explore, that being Paradise Plaza, but there was legitimately nothing to do in the demo. When you boot the demo up, you get a story cutscene, one where Jesse sprains her ankle, and Frank says his infamous "I've covered wars, you know" line, and then you just put in the plaza. And the thing is, you go anywhere outside the plaza, the demo ends. The area itself is quite small, and as said, there is nothing to do except kill a few zombies. There's no demo mission or anything to give you a taste of what the full game is like. It is just kill a few zombies, leave area, demo ends. It's a bit of a piss take because when the demo does load, you're told to get back up for Brad, and the story cutscene before, so it kind of gives that false illusion the demo is going to lead up to the Carlito boss fight and then end. But yeah, great game, crap demo. But speaking of a really fantastic demo, Crash Twinsanity. So Crash Twinsanity is a very, let's just say, rushed and mixed game from the Crash Bandicoot series. It's incredibly buggy as all hell, can be speedrun incredibly quick, and as far as I'm aware it has a very mixed reputation. It's like Marmite, you either love it or you outright hate it. But regardless of how you feel about the game, the demo itself is a fantastic example of how a demo really should be. You get about the first entire level to play, and a tiny slice of the next two, which give you about 15 to about 30 minutes maximum game time, which is more than enough for you to form your opinion on the game. It's all technically unlimited too, so if you played the first level you can prat around Insanity Island, collect the gems and technically go for 100% in that level at least, go for it. And to top it off, you also got a demo exclusive intro with Cortex welcoming you in a fourth wall break. Something like that is small, but it's really nice and welcoming addition. The only thing that's a bit off with this is Cortex's voice when you do the Totem Hokum demo. You can clearly tell it's not Lex Lang voicing him, and you also get this abrupt end. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. But yeah, another absolutely fantastic demo has to be Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Now this is a very strange addition in the video because this video is a nostalgia kind of video, you know, talking about games from your childhood. From the games you grew up with, like in the 90s and the 2000s. And this one released in 2024 on the PS5. But the reason I'm including this one is because, well, all I'm going to say is RGG know how to make a demo. The amount of content they gave you in this demo is astonishing. You get about 2 hours worth of content. The demo is split into 2 parts, one being a story demo, which lightly tacks on from the ending of Like a Dragon Gaiden, and then transitions into a 30-minute segment of the story from Chapter 3. And then after that you get a Hawaii demo which gives you a bit of a free roaming experience, complete with a changed portion of the main story with a mini boss fight, a few sub-stories and activities to do. They could have just stuck it at the story demo, but they really went all out in what you can expect in Infinite Wealth. This demo felt strangely nostalgic to play, like, even though the game is extremely modern, it's just the way the demo was. It kind of felt like the way demos were back in the PS1 era. Even down to the end splash screen which says "Thanks for playing, the game releases on this date" screen, which to be honest I don't think I've ever seen this screen on a modern console before. I mean I'm playing on PC, but you know what I mean. And most demos were quite basic overall. Like the demo to Crash Team Racing was just one single track to race on, which was Papu's Pyramid, and it lasted about 2 minutes, which is extremely short. But it showed off what you can expect with Crash Team Racing because it's a kart racer. That one 2-minute race showed off pretty much the entire game and how it plays. For a game like that you do not need 30 minutes to figure it out. You might need a bit of extra time to learn the controls, but ultimately you don't need 30 minutes to determine if you like it or not really. And as we shifted more towards online oriented gaming, demo discs kind of slowly faded away and instead became replaced with downloadable demos, which is a bit of a fair and natural progression. and the demos were still pretty much on par with the quality we got in the PS2 and the PS1 era, but I feel like demos themselves kind of faded away around the mid-generation of the PS3 and Xbox 360. According to Pure Xbox, the 360 had about 254 demos, which is a lot, but remember there were hundreds more on the PS1, that they just shipped out magazines, Toys R Us and Pizza Hut like they were going out of fashion. And looking at the list, they did have some demos of absolute classics, so you got demos for Need for Speed, Lego, Sonic and Batman, but a quick glance at the list, the demos kind of seem to die for around 2010-2011ish. At least that's going off the games I recognise on here. But speaking of that though, I also think the 3DS's downloadable demos were absolute horrible. Not because the games are bad, but it's because Nintendo only gave you a very limited amount of times you can actually boot up the demo before you were locked out and you had to delete it. When I got my 2DS, I was broke in college. And I heard about Super Smash Bros. Coming out for the 3DS and I had no idea how it would play on a 2DS. I was more accustomed to playing Brawl on the Wii, but yeah, so I downloaded the demo to Smash Bros. And I was kind of surprised when I saw how they limited you to, I think it was about 30 times you could actually boot the demo up. Like, I'm sure many of us may remember just only playing the demo of a game we really wanted until our parents got us the game we actually wanted. I really don't know why Nintendo did that, it just seems so completely ass backwards. Like, I know there's time limit demos on some games, but honestly, I really do think that, you know, just limiting it was a complete ass move. And nowadays, I find demos to be quite scarce. You don't see many AAA developers anymore issuing out public demos to get you hyped up for their latest game. I'm pretty sure a lot of indie devs still do, but instead of you downloading the demo and deciding for yourself that game might be good for you, you either have to rely on what a YouTuber and social media tells you to, or you just have to wait for a free weekend in the event it's a multiplayer game, because I don't think I've seen many single player games offer them, and trust your gut, buy it and hope it's not complete crap. At best you might still get demos at gaming stores. When I last went into a game in UK, they did have a PS5 kiosk up, but it wasn't on, and I don't think I've ever seen it on, to be honest. But I remember when I was in college they had an Xbox One demo kiosk up, and one lad in my class really loved the Forza Motorsport demos. We also had a few matches of FIFA during lunchtimes as well, but yeah, that was more of a kiosk, not really a download at home and try for yourself kind of thing. Speaking of that though, I feel like free weekends in multiplayer have pretty much replaced demos. They kind of operate the same way, entice people on the fence to try the game out, but I feel like it's not the same. With those free weekends, you usually get access to the full game unlimited, which is good, but one massive downside is, they're predominantly multiplayer games, and you'll likely be paired with people who've never got off the damn game. So while you may be on the fence trying out this new shooter, you download it, you're going to be playing against people who are just going to make your time very unenjoyable. And overall, I just think that demos aren't going to be as big as they once were. It'd be nice if demos did make a massive comeback, but to be honest I don't think they will. I know I've probably said it about 20,000 times in this video, but I really think in the age of the internet, there isn't really much need for a demo anymore. Most people nowadays, if they're looking to buy a game, they'll just watch a review on it, maybe watch some gameplay of it, and just make their own decisions from there. And I'll be honest, I'm guilty of that myself, because earlier when I mentioned about the Dead Rising demo, I actually first found out about Dead Rising from YouTube and I thought it looked really good. So yeah, I think because of social media there just isn't really going to be much of a demand for them anymore. I mean, there probably still are going to be a few developers who are going to put them out there, but the golden age is long gone. But thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.